Good evening and welcome here to Turner Stadium on the campus of Taylor University for tonight's finale of our homecoming festivities, as it is Spring Arbor coming into Upland, Indiana tonight to take on the Taylor Trojans. Spring Arbor, a couple men down tonight due to illness, and the Trojans trying to pick up a much-needed 3 points as they come in 1-1-1 in the Crossroads League, but just a couple points back of vaulting themselves forward up into the higher levels of the Crossroads League standings. Spring Arbor comes in 2-1. The Trojans are 1-1-1, as I mentioned. Taylor 6-3-1 overall. SAU is 5-5-1. One of the rare times that Spring Arbor has gotten 5 losses so early in the season. Normally, if they even get to their 5th loss, it doesn't come until the Spring Arbor Cougars are already into the national tournament a good bit of ways. The Cougars come in tied for 3rd in the Crossroads League. Taylor is in 5th, 2 points back of Mount Vernon and Indiana Wesleyan. Free kick here for the Trojans. This one sails all the way to the near side corner, rolls out. It's going to go back to the visitors of Spring Arbor. It's been a tough Saturday for Trojan athletics. Tough loss for the football team earlier today on this field against Lawrence Tech, and a tough 4-0 defeat for the women's soccer team up at Spring Arbor. So the men's soccer team hoping to give the Taylor faithful something a little bit to cheer about here tonight on the 9th of October. Last time Taylor was here playing a home match on on homecoming was just 2 years ago. And it was the game-winning tally for Mikey Maloney here against Grace. And thankfully that night, the Siegelin family, that afternoon, they got me an elephant ear, and we've started the game off with an elephant ear as well, so thank you to Mr. and Mrs. Siegelin for purchasing me the delicious elephant ear. It's fantastic, came hot out the fryer, and it is a wonderful way to get a little sugar rush before the soccer match began this evening. Starting in goal, another start for Sam Spiegel, the freshman from Bedford, Indiana. Free kick for SAU. Can't clear it away as Vanderkolk, headed in the air by Yoder. Yoder on the far side trying to get it away for TU, and does with a left foot. We did not get a pronunciation for tonight's starting keeper for Spring Arbor, so I apologize if I butcher his first name and his last name throughout the night. Sophomore from Northville, Michigan. Normal starter is Christopher Banfi. But tonight in the goal for SAU will be Yanni Kanelopoulos. Again, I apologize for butchering the either first name, last name, or both. But did not get that on the pronunciation guide tonight. But makes his first start as Banfi had started every match previous before this one, and every minute. So Kanelopoulos in there tonight for SAU. They're clad in highlighter yellow with navy blue numbers on the front and back. The Trojans in the white uniforms with the purple stripes and the purple letters and the purple numbers. Sawyer Watterson against his former team, the Spring Arbor transfer, who transferred in a year ago, had to sit out due to Crossroads League rules when you transfer in conference. So it's the first season that we've had a chance to see Watterson on the field, and he has been a fantastic addition to the Taylor midfield. Tough break for TU last week. They lost in overtime across the county at county foe Indiana Wesleyan in a match that looked like they led 2-1 before a goal was taken away. Offside here as Cetron started the run too early. First offside of the night for either side. And Kanelopoulos will send it away. Taylor presses forward. Yoder gets it back from Partain. Little flick on from Watterson. Partain tried to move it forward, but Ali took it away from him. Vanderkolk, left of center, and he'll flick it back to Jackson Hoosier, whose parents are in attendance tonight, made the way out from Colorado. Harold, his high school mate in the Rocky Mountain State, plays it up and out of bounds near side. It goes back on a throw-in here to Spring Arbor as more and more fans make their way with food in hand from the food trucks in the parking lot to fill in the stands here at Turner Stadium tonight. Taylor men's soccer has gotten great crowds throughout the year, and we're expecting a packed house tonight here at Turner Stadium to wrap up the homecoming Saturday festivities. Taylor attacks the goal to our right here in the opening half as Cetrin gets it back from Yoder on a quick little play that develops. Big touch from Cetrin and a good challenge on the far side from Jeffrey Victoria. And it goes out of play, and it'll go back to the Trojans on a good challenge from SAU. They press forward to Voigt. We do not see Trevor Kaku out there, the top offensive threat for Spring Arbor tonight. Cougars laid back to Besteman. Wanted to press forward and could not. Long ball near side as Harold has to backpedal and tries to find Mitchell Haynes. Left edge of the box, Haynes knifes in, he falls down. And it'll go out of bounds and back to TU. To make that, Sowers wearing number 8, normally wears 31, donning the number 8 uniform this evening. This one kicked out of bounds, and it's going to be a Taylor throw with Harold here on the near side of the field. Just one shot for SAU. Taylor has yet to take a shot on goal, as both teams continue the feeling out process here tonight at Turner Stadium. If you want to come out to the match, we have seats available, but they are running out quick. So you got to get on down here. Bring the food in from the parking lot. We've got a spot for you either down below us or right here on good old YouTube. Zook wanted Dupree, couldn't connect with him. And now the Trojans regroup near midfield. Cetrin looks for a foul that doesn't come. Taylor student section loud and proud across from us. And then Sowers will drive it forward too far for those in yellow, as Haynes gives an appreciation point back to Sowers, and it's going to be a goal kick here for Spiegel. Will quickly switch it over to Hoosier. Vanderkolk comes back, turns, and lays it off near side to Harold. Almost 9 minutes into the opening half. Taylor still in search of their first shot. Nice little play back from Holwarda to Alzate. Crosses right side, wants to go back post. Leaning and heading it away will be Spring Arbor, held in by Holwarda. Then it's knocked down Partain. A shot from outside will just roll by the near side by Sawyer Watterson, the former SAU Cougar. So a good look from Watterson as he tries to take down his former team here at his new home here tonight. So the first shot from either side has now been recorded as the Trojans took a little while to get their first attempt. And the Taylor student section across from us, loud, proud, and with instruments and flags and drums. Out of play, signaled by Taylor assistant coach Jude Johansson. Alzate sees it and quickly throws it forward to Luke Holwarda. Holwarda with Sowers on his back, plays it back to the near side. Holwarda finds Vanderkolk as he works it to the middle, and Levi Yoder. Big right foot to the far side. Headed back up by SAU, trying to pounce on it quickly will be Caleb Dupree, but he's turned away quickly by the Trojans. Cetrin through a couple defenders to captain Partain. The middle and his senior classmate Vanderkolk. Wanted to press it forward to Holwarda. Too many yellow jersey defenders in between. Big touch to Harold to Alzate. The overlapping run to Harold will have to come back on side. Vanderkolk snaps the ball to the middle, looks forward. Wanted to connect with the cutting Watterson. SAU cuts it down, and they press forward up to Voigt. Voigt the only forward back for the visitors. Far side Dupree, then back up to Voigt, who's Snuck behind the D. Clear sailing for Voigt from the right side. Crosses in. Sliding is James McBride. Deflected it back and snagged by Spiegel. A good-looking opportunity there brewing for Spring Arbor. And Spiegel right there to make sure that one did not get any more dangerous than it already looked. Forward, turns to the near side. His father and grandfather here tonight. Luke trying to press it forward, turns it over as it's taken away by SAU's Mitchell Haynes. Yoder cuts off this pass in the middle of the field as the freshman tries to create. Alzate sweeps back and Harold. And then back to Hoosier. Looping it far side. Out of play before Partain could get there, but it's deflected out by Spring Arbor, so the Trojans will throw it in. We are scoreless, almost 12 minutes into the opening half. Each team with one shot. Neither has been on goal. Watterson's the most recent one for Taylor. Good little knife down by SAU's Iyad Ali. Up to the near side and Voigt. Trying to get behind McBride. Back to the middle. Kicked away by Hoosier. Nice play by the center back. Little two-man game there between Ali and Voigt. And the Trojans stand tall and keep the ball out of there. Keep the ball away from the goal for the time being. Swan to Sowers. Alzate got a piece for Taylor, but unable to press it forward are the Trojans. Quick passing for Spring Arbor, lays it on back. This will be Sowers. To Pultz. Big right-footed blast, sails over everyone's heads, except Spiegel, who's the goalkeeper tonight for TU. Sam with an elite saving percentage at 82%. Very impressive from the freshman. Vanderkolk trying to give it back to Harold. No one was home. And now SAU will throw it in with Josh Vanderstelt. Check that, make it Haynes who will have the honor. Haynes throws it near the 18. Hoosier steps in front and flicks it off to Watterson. Near side, Alzate. Back to Watterson. Working it forward to Holwerda. Holwerda dances away, then goes all the way to the far side of the wide open Owen Setron. Up to the left side and Partain. This is where he can create with that left foot. And the Trojans try to lay it back, but a violation here against SAU keeps it with Taylor for a throw-in on the far side. Taylor shoots on the goal to our right here in the opening half. And it will be Setron. As I don't know where we're going to be able to put all these people. These folks continuing to pack this place here tonight on a picture-perfect evening for soccer. Partain forward. Holwerda turns, finds some space. A teammate moves out of the way. Holwerda try to work it back to the top of the 18. And this one's sent back out of play far side by the SAU back line. Hoosier trying to throw it in as the Trojans still without the services of Colin Maris, out with an upper body injury for another match. Sounds like he might be coming back to start training at the middle of this week, and it'll be a welcome addition both defensively for TU but also for those big ball throw-ins that he's got. Just can really launch that thing with two hands from either sideline. It's been a really effective tool for Taylor offensively this season, and they've really missed it here for the Trojans on the throw-ins here since Maris has been out the last couple of weeks. Spring Arbor holds it in, knocking it down with his right shoulder as Yoder, but it'll roll out of play and go back to SAU on the far side. Headed forward by Spring Arbor. Hoosier comes back and rockets one out of play near side. It'll be a Spring Arbor throw-in. As Spring Arbor quickly races forward with Mitchell Haynes to throw it in. Into Voigt. Playing it in towards the end line. Voigt trying to hustle after it. Vanderkolk will box him out. And it's a goal kick for Spiegel. Will he try to drive it deep, or will he lay it back to Hoosier, who's right next to him? It'll be the short play to Hoosier once again. And then Hoosier rifles one forward with the right foot. It'll curl out of play and go back to SAU. And it looks like Spring Arbor moved too far forward before the ball was thrown in. And so they'll move Haynes back the appropriate distance. Haynes throws it in. Vanderkolk into the air. Watterson knifes it down and ricochets it towards the far side of the field, left of center. And this is Setrin. Holwerda gets his left foot onto it, wants to play it down to Partain, and does. Partain backpedals and now tries to engage. Long ball back to McBride near midfield as James will dish forward. Left of center here in the middle, and Vanderkolk curling near side, and Harold as Taylor shoots on the goal to our right. Just a shot for either side. Neither has been on goal. Harold with some fancy footwork, but he cannot elude Haynes. And now Alzate runs back, bangs into Haynes, who keeps the ball at his feet for Spring Arbor. Good job by John Alzate to block the pass. That's a throw in here for SAU. Off the back of Voigt and right back to Taylor. Almost 17 minutes into our opening half. It is a scoreless match so far between Taylor and Spring Arbor. One shot per team. Neither has been on frame just yet. Harold and Vanderstelt leap for it. Neither touched it. It was last touched by Spring Arbor. Harold's throw in. Ricochets his head back in. Vanderkolk gets his back heel on it. Quickly, the Trojans play to Holwerda. Lost his footings to try to keep the ball, but he's able to saunter back and find the ball in open space. Harold off to Hoosier. Big right-footed blast to the far side. Knocked down, but right to Watterson, and moves it over to where it is intended to go the first time in Setrin. Setrin over Holwerda's head, and in to the 18 it goes, where it's smothered up by Kanelopoulos. Hoosier into the 18. This will be snagged by Spiegel. We talked about the Sieglins earlier. Andrew's older brother Adam just walking in with a couple handfuls of food. This one where teammate Holwerda almost turned himself into a knot, able to get out of the space, but couldn't come away with the ball. Yoder working back nicely, but it's a foul against Taylor, and that will draw some disagreements from the Taylor fans, filling the bleachers down below us. A new addition to the instruments down below. Sounds like someone's got a duck call. This one sent into the 18. Spiegel soars through the air with oohs and ahs from the fans. Hoosier was the one that Spiegel soared over. And the drop kick missiled forward from Spiegel. Alzate and Vanderkolk both there. Couldn't get a clean touch on it. But now it's Vanderkolk that works back and wins it for Watterson. Far side, Setrin. As that pass catches him in stride, a dish to the left side of the field, and Partain could not work it forward to Setrin, who has to hit the brakes. Partain draws the eyes of two defenders, goes back quickly to Yoder. Nice pass up to Partain. Couldn't make the last little step to sashay around Kyle Darcheville. Out of play it goes. It stays with Taylor on the far side throw-in. Last touched by Spring Arbor, and Watterson to throw it in. But he'll drop it down and let Hoosier jog forward and chuck it. Pretty clean match here so far. Hoosier fires it in. Little sidewinder spin to it. Cetrin jumps, couldn't keep it moving forward, and it's blasted to the other end of the field by Spring Arbor. Takes a Cougar bounce as McBride right there trying to elude Voigt, the only man back there for SAU. McBride on a hot run. Quick pass up to Alzate, who dances away from not 3 but 4 Spring Arbor players. And now the ball finds Cetrin on a run left side. Cetrin pressing forward, Holwerda knocks it down, couldn't elude the last man separating him from goal, but slid back to Yoder and quickly pouncing far side Partain. The Trojans trying to create something as Partain crosses, knifes its way down, Holwerda shoots, deflected in and stopped by Kanellopoulos. What a beautiful sequence of passes there for the Trojans. Just could not finish it off with a tally, but the best offensive possession for Taylor tonight just happened right there. This goal kick goes all the way to the Taylor keeper, Spiegel. Little roll out to Hoosier. Up to Vanderkolk. Near side, Harold just took his eyes off it as that one bounced over his right boot. Haynes, the Spring Arbor throw-in, near side in front of the Taylor bench. The Trojans in the white with the purple sleeves and the purple stripes and the purple numbers and the white shorts. Spring Arbor in the sunflower yellow with the navy blue numbers and trim. Hoosier bombs one to the other end as both Partain and Holwerda there. Partain slipped, and that's going to be a foul against SAU. One of the backline players might have been Victor Toon. Second foul against Spring Arbor, and now the Trojans with a set piece from the middle of the field. Watterson can take it. Partain thought about it, and now Quinn's going to walk in and set up near the top of the box, I think. Watterson. About 40 yards away from the goal. Just off center to the near side. Sawyer Watterson flicks it in. Backside, trying to get there with the Trojans. Yoder flicks it on. A big bounce and easily snagged by Kanellopoulos. Second stop of the night for Kanellopoulos. Trojans with 3 shots as Harold continues to backpedal, but it'll bounce over his head and find the feet of Voigt for Spring Arbor. Look at the challenge from James McBride, forcing Voigt to dish it off. Little touch into space right to John Alzate, who says thank you very much. And then it finally pinballs around and finds McBride. Dishes off dangerously into the Taylor 18, but the Trojans able to work it to the outside back spot. Far side, Cetrin. Forward and now Holwerda will accelerate and soars behind Spring Arbor. A touch of the end line, back all the way up. Here comes John Alzate. John with pressure from behind, tried to go between his defender's legs. The tough run there for Holwerda. Thought someone would be home back in the middle, but nobody in white was there. And it rolls aimlessly away as now Taylor's got to regroup. Alzate out, Brian Matipa in for Taylor. Alzate to throw it in. Little dink off to Vanderkolk. And now Yoder, who dribbles to the middle. Far sideline, Cetrin with Taylor shooting on the goal to our right. A little fancy footwork from Partain to Yoder. Taylor quickly pings the ball to the near side. Hoosier on to Harold. Spring Arbor shifts over, and now Harold works it up to the new legs in Matipa. The footing back to the middle. Yoder with some room. Thought about it, but then swings it all the way to the far side in Partain. Quinn dribbles, tries to get end line. Crosses, was it deflected out? It was, and we'll have our first corner of the night. 2 subs make their way to the midfield area for SAU. And it looks to be Watterson from the far side. Taylor shoots on the goal to our right. It'll come into the right of Kanelopoulos. A high outswinger to the top of the box and easily headed away by SAU. Setrin heads into space, trying to beat Voigt there, and he will dish it off to Harold. Near sideline, Hoosier, the center back, all the way forward in the Taylor attack. Sweeps it ahead to Matipa, a little dink into space for Bryan, but the offside flag in the air. That's the second offside for Taylor this evening. As Haley Andrews awaits the check-in along with Tony Gallegos. Free kick on the offside for Spring Arbor with 19:09 left to go here in the first half and a scoreless match so far. Big 3 points on the line tonight for both these teams. Partain wanted Matipa, had to come back to get it after SAU cut it off. Left of center, Partain trying to run to the wide side. Partain bluffs with a left-footed shot, works his way back, thought about a cross. He'll dribble as the overlapping run from Setrin cannot work it to him. Partain keeps on dribbling back, and now they find Vanderkolk. Clay with a nice little move with the right foot. Yoder touches it down, and then they regroup in the defensive end to the Trojans with James McBride. Here to Harold. Up to Matipa. Little move, and now Matipa can try to create. Matipa tried to get end line. Sowers couldn't clear it after he deflected it. Matipa quickly pounces back on top. Last touch by Sowers, and Taylor has their second corner in the last few moments. And this is great for the Trojans because this is right in the wheelhouse for Partain to use that left foot of his. 18 minutes remaining in the first half as the Trojans have been ramping up the offensive pressure here in the last few moments. Partain readies. Taylor shoots on the goal to our right, near side corner. In-swinger, back post, leaping is Hoosier, still loose in the 18. Taylor shoots, diving is Kanelopoulos, and it's turned away. Vanderkolk and Matipa were right there. The Trojans couldn't break through. Kanelopoulos comes in, runs to his own man. Trying to knock it down was Watterson, and Yoder back to Hoosier. Big Turge first touch. Hoosier unleashes and buries it from 28 yards out. What a strike from Jackson Hoosier. Partain looks to get the assist as two subs come in, Andrews and Gallegos for SAU. But the first goal of the season, the second one of his career for Jackson Hoosier, almost tore the net off of its bearings. Give the assist to Yoder, but what an absolute missile driven in by Hoosier. Even better with Mr. and Mrs. Hoosier in the stands tonight out from Colorado. And now the Trojans in search of a big 3 points. They come in just 1 point, just 2 points back of IWU and this Spring Arbor club, who are currently tied for third. Remember, the top 8 teams in the Crossroads League all make the league tournament, and the top 4 host a first-round tournament contest. Harold up to Matipa. As now Matipa turns and hits the jet, saves into Holwarda, cuts it down with his left foot, dances back into space. Little bluff here to get some room, and he's able to connect with Harold. Nice individual play from Holwarda. So the goal in the 29th minute from Hoosier. Just a rip from 28 yards out. And Vanderkolk was looking ahead. It's cut down and played in by Ali. This one to the seats, and then it curls away. And I thought we reached the end of the folks making their way here, but they continue to pack in here. And when they were celebrating that goal, they were jumping up and down, and that made the press box here shake. Ali. Voigt hits the brakes and goes back to the middle. Pass too far for the intended man. That allows Partain to come in. He's shoved down from behind, and it's a foul against Spring Arbor, and I think Owen Swan. Owen Hardy are about to join the fun for TU. Mr. and Mrs. Hardy in the stands to our left. Partain wanted Yoder, who has to come back to get it, and sends a long-range pass to the goal scorer tonight, Hoosier. Near sideline to his Colorado mate, Harold. Sends it in deep. We've already seen Holwerda turn on the Jets tonight, trying to get in here. Knifes in on the end line. Trying to get their plate in. Sauer spins himself around, and he deflected it out, and Taylor's got another corner. What speed from Luke Holwerda tonight. It's been I don't know if we've ever seen 7 in white this electrifying with the wheels. As Owen Hardy pleading to try to get in here before the corner kick, and he'll be allowed to enter the fray. And Owen will come in to get the aforementioned Holwerda. And they're not booing. They're saying Luke. They wanted a wave, and they got the wave from Luke. Partain's near side corner. An in-swinger to the back post. Kanelopoulos knocks it away, chested down into the 18 by Watterson. Taylor couldn't keep him moving forward. Now McBride gets his head on it. Hoosier with a laser beam pass. That was too hot for Cetron to handle. Now to play it goes and right back to Spring Arbor. 14:09 and counting here in the opening half. Taylor with a 1-0 lead on the rocket shot from Jackson Hoosier on the assist from Levi Yoder in the 29th minute. Kanelopoulos dribbles forward and now sends it as Hardy came in to apply pressure. Cetron in a foot race, shouldered out of the way by Gallegos. And it was last touched by Owen, and Spring Arbor will keep the possession. Just one shot all night for Spring Arbor. Taylor has ripped off 5 unanswered shots, 4 on goal, and 1 has gotten into the back of the net on the bomb from Hoosier from 28 yards out. Fought for, coming away as Spring Arbor against 2 men across here, but headed away by the aforementioned Hoosier. Partain wanted to turn and send it on a ride far side, just got a piece of it. That's worked back to the middle here in Zook. Spring Arbor resets in the defensive end. Little dink back to the far side. Faking to the right is Zook and coming to the middle. Kanelopoulos, big right foot forward. Headed down by Cetron towards midfield. Couldn't find one of his mates. Instead finds the feet of Iyad Ali. Pultz lifts one in towards the 18. Spiegel comes off his line, and the Taylor keeper has it. Hardy. Back to Vanderkolk. Matipa. Back to Harold, just in front of coaches Gary Ross and Jude Johansson. Big pass in deep, Hoosier. Hardy trying to race there. Sowers flicks it towards the end line, the exact opposite of what Sowers wanted to do. Wanted to kick it into the air, instead kicked it forward. And here comes corner kick number 4 for the Trojans. The last 3 coming from this side of the field. And this is a picture-perfect spot for the left-footed Quinn Partain. 11.5 minutes remaining in the first half. Taylor out front 1-0 against Spring Arbor on the Hoosier goal in the 29th minute. A deep breath from Partain. Had good pace in the last one with the back post. Same thing here. Hoosier had Kanelopoulos leap in front before Hoosier could redirect it on the keeper's try. Good job by that keeper wearing periwinkle blue and Kanelopoulos. Zook up to Haynes. Into space, coming back to get it. But out of play by Haley Andrews. That one happened right in front of the Taylor bench. They all lifted their hands in the air to say it should go back their way, and the referees agree. Harold to throw it in. Hardy cut in. This one's going to land on top of the medical tent down below us. Harold wants to throw it in, trying to find a target. A little soft throw into Matipa. Was a turn near sideline, did. And kicked out of play by Mitchell Haynes of Spring Arbor. Just move Harold up a handful of paces to throw it in again. Vanderkolk. Far side, Cetrin. Cetrin into the 18, wanted to come backside to Matipa, flicked away by Sowers of Spring Arbor. Vanderkolk wanted Watterson in the middle. Clay tried to throw that right foot out there, couldn't get there. And a hustling move by Haley Andrews to the near side. Harold applies pressure, pass intercepted by Vanderkolk near side. Clay dribbles and dishes off to Yoder, who assisted on the Hoosier tally a handful of minutes ago. Partain maneuvers to the middle. Hardy little dink back to Partain. Tight quarters, lets a shot go. Diving stop. Kanelopoulos still loose as it rolls on the end line. Saved away, but right to Cetrin, who crosses left foot to the middle of the 18. Flicked away by Spring Arbor. Vanderkolk back to the box. Flicked on back in by Hardy, but Kanelopoulos is right there. Fifth save of the night, and time will be called as Nick Poltz might have lost a contact. He's going to come over to the near side and get checked out by athletic trainer Joe Walter. Oh, it's a bloody nose for Poltz. Into the match will be Dragan Chalfont Lupo. I think for Nick Poltz, who's got the nosebleed. Taylor head coach Gary Ross was not happy with the call for some reason, and now the acting head coach for SAU, because Marco Bernardini not here tonight. So I think it's Anil Joseph, the acting head coach tonight for Spring Arbor, was arguing something there pretty vehemently with our head official. Into the match for Taylor, Josh Ziden replacing Clay Vanderkolk. And that'll move Watterson back to a holding mid spot for Taylor and move Ziden towards the attack. 8:46 is where the clock has stopped here in half one after the nosebleed from Nick Poltz being tended to right now by Taylor athletic trainer Joe Walter. But still just one shot on the night for Spring Arbor. Taylor has taken the last 7 in a row, including 6 on goal, 1 that has found the back of the net. That from Jackson Hoosier in minute 29, his first of the season and the second of his career. Scored an electrifying goal in traffic here last year against Indiana Wesleyan. Gallegos. Taylor gets it back up to the far side. Partain will rifle it forward over the jumping Hardy's head. And Kanelopoulos off of his line to play it out outside the 18. First match of the year for Kanelopoulos, as Christopher Banfi, the starter from a year ago, also played every minute in the goal this year for SAU, unable to play the night. So Kanelopoulos gets the first appearance of his season. Zidane wanted to work back into the middle. It's held in here by SAU and Zook. Presses it forward. This one rolls through. Overrun by two different men, Voigt and Lupo. As both were right there, just took a couple extra steps, and the Trojans avoid trouble here. Taylor trying to take it away from SAU in the defensive end. And Cetrin loses his footing. SAU still with the possession here. Good work by Cetrin to come back as Zidane will work it down to Matipa. Oh, look at Cetrin with the fancy footwork. Matipa couldn't get through the challenge, but it's Yoder coming in to help. It's worked up the far side, and out of play that one goes. Stays here with Taylor. Partain, tight quarters, couldn't elude the defender in front of him. It's all the way back to Jackson Hoosier, the center back, who's got the only goal of the night. With Taylor out front, 1-0. Matipa steps through, runs the challenge, and keeps him moving to the middle. Matipa directs where he wants Partain to maneuver to. He'll play it on back, and now it's up to Partain in space. Ball might have too much juice on it. Partain doesn't think so. Tries to run the SAU player into it. He didn't touch it before it rolled out of play. It's a goal kick upcoming for Yanni Kanelopoulos. Still just that one shot tonight for Spring Arbor. As Sowers the one starting the play here for SAU. Into Sprace. Yoder. Off to Zidane. Trojans and Spring Arbor neither had a match this week. So a little Wednesday off for both teams. Trojans trying to get healthy. Spring Arbor trying to build on their 1-0 win over Grace last week. A little back heel flick. Harold Matipa sweeps it in on the near side, and up to Hardy he goes. Hardy with pressure from behind. Back to Hoosier. Pressure there, and Hoosier pulls the jersey of Lupo. He and Hoosier jostle for position. Both get locked up. Both fall down. It's a foul against the big fella Hoosier. Third foul of the night against the Trojans. And it's going to go back initially to where the two locked up near midfield. Sowers to take the free kick right at the midline. Flicked back by Andrews, and Cetrin's right there for Taylor. Gallegos. Hardy with a beautiful slide, and Zidane works it along to Waters, who pirouettes. Harold up to Matipa, goes off the backside of Haynes. Harold flicks into the air, runs in to Lupo, and it's Lupo called for the foul this time. Foul number 4 against Spring Arbor. So we have 3:30 separating us from halftime. Partain backpedals. Little touch into space, able to get his defender to bite. Maneuvering in, Partain tries to cross. Deflected, and it's out on the end line, and Taylor's got their 5th corner of the night upcoming here. As Andrew Siegelin enters, he replaces Hardy. And the Siegelins, the family that generously bought the Bought us a press box elephant ear for us to split, and it has been delicious. Still got a little bit left to enjoy during halftime. Far side corner for Taylor. First one taken here since the very first one they had all night. A short one to the Trojans. One of the rare times they've done it this year. Partain clears or crosses. Deflected on the end line and right back to the corner. Spring Arbor will get it away from trouble. Out of play far side. It'll be a Spring Arbor throw-in with 2:30 and counting remaining here in half one. Good little play developing for SAU. As quickly as developed, it was snuffed out by the Taylor defense. Still pressing forward is SAU. Deflection here, sails out of the complex. And Taylor will throw it in with less than 2 to go in the first half. A half dominated by the Trojans. Their first shot was not on goal. The last 6 have been on goal and 1 has gone in. And after Spring Arbor had the first shot early on in the match tonight, they have yet to take a shot since. Back to Kanelopoulos with Siegelin barreling down on him. Back out to the far side, and SAU will drive it forward. Taylor plays it back in with Siegelin. And a handball called against the Trojans. Free kick upcoming for SAU with 80 seconds left in the first half. Into the 18. Andrews heads it back. SAU trying to work it along. Zidon comes and sends it away from trouble. Hoosier up the near sideline. Races, and he'll be a couple steps too late. As we dip below a minute remaining here in the first 45 minutes. Sowers intercepted by Watterson of Taylor. Siegelin, middle of the field cut off. Little pass into space. Zidon too far for him. And SAU quickly regroups with Andrews to throw it in with less than 40 seconds to go first half. Matipa backpedals, heads it into the air. The second touch knocked down, and it's sent skyward by Taylor Sawyer Watterson. Yoder, Siegelin. With Taylor trying to build from the back with 23 seconds left. Off the foot of Harold, off the outside, and it goes out of play. Andrews to throw it in. Into the 18. Spiegel tracks a jump and a snag on the bounce with less than 10 seconds. And the Taylor fans count down the last 10 seconds of a great first half for the home team. 29th minute is where our first goal happens tonight, and it comes off the right foot of a missile variety from Jackson Hoosier. Levi Yoder with the assist, and Taylor leads 1-0. At the end of 45 minutes here on a homecoming Saturday. We're back with the second half after this here on the Trojans Sports Network. Folks, we'd like to remind you to stay tuned for the halftime performance by the TU Palms team. Due to copyright rules with music, we'll be unable to play the music accompanied with the TU Palms team, but we will be carrying their performance. Join the Trojan Club today and support Taylor student athletes 12 months a year. The Trojan Club has 4 different levels of membership for you to choose from. Each level receives complimentary season tickets, while the Athletic Director Circle and Trojan MVP levels receive gifts from the Athletic Department. Over the years, members have helped supply the funds for a sports information position, purchasing equipment for teams and the athletic training staff, and providing broadcasts of Trojan athletics like the one you're enjoying right now. With the support of alumni and friends, the Taylor combination of spiritual growth, outstanding academics, and a highly competitive intercollegiate athletic program can continue. To join, call 765-998-5311 or log on to TaylorTrojans.com and click on the Trojan Club tab at the top of the homepage. The Trojan Club, supporting Taylor University student athletes.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
Your heart, well, your heart is everything to you and your body, and its favorite place to be is home. Marion General Hospital has been named a nationally accredited chest pain center, which is the highest accomplishment in cardiovascular care. We are proud to provide our community with a team of cardiac experts throughout MGH. From our ambulance and emergency room to our cardiovascular departments in partnership with our experienced local cardiologists and interventional cardiologists from St. Vincent's Medical Group. The same level of cardiovascular expertise in bigger cities at larger hospitals is available right here. Everyone has their expertise. At MGH, our expertise is your heart, bringing the best in the nation home to you. Your heart is in the right place at MGH.
Ivanhoe's has been serving Taylor students since 1965, when Ivan and Carol Slane purchased the restaurant. Located on Main Street, Ivanhoe's is less than a mile from the Taylor campus and is open 7 days a week. The menu features choices for lunch, dinner, as well as 100 different milkshakes and sundaes. Customers can find other dessert items as well. The staff is proud to support Taylor University and appreciates the support of Ivanhoe's through the years.
When you need the fuel to be your nephew's #1 fan, Holiday Inn Express. We're there, so you can be too.
Greek's Pizzeria in Upland opened its doors in December of 2017. Over the years, there have been more than 140 Greeks opened across the country, with 24 Indiana locations. When it comes to pizza, Greeks offers customers the option to create their own pizza or to try one of Greeks' specialized pizzas. Greeks uses fresh, homemade, hand-tossed dough, Greeks Italian sauce, select blended cheeses, gourmet toppings, and the same method of preparation since the first restaurant opened in 1969. The kitchen can also whip up a sandwich served on fresh French-style bread, or can put that sandwich into a pizza shell wrap. Customers can also add breadsticks or French-style bread as a side item. Greeks also offers a selection of salads and assorted dressings as well. Greeks is located just off Main Street in Upland and is a proud supporter of Taylor University Athletics. Greeks Pizzeria. It's our taste.
It's true. Many of us spend more time thinking about what's for dinner than thinking about retirement. But if you think your retirement needs deserve more attention, we agree, and we'd like to help. Your local Edward Jones financial advisors, Ryan Jones, Mark Sieglin, and Rob Sisson, can help you get started today. They are proud corporate partners of Taylor University Athletics. Edward Jones, making sense of investing.
Best One Tire and Auto Care Upland is proud to support Taylor University Athletics. Located at 148 South Main Street, Best One is open 6 days a week. Owner Mike Pearson and his staff offer replacement tires from brands like Bridgestone, Firestone, and Goodyear. Customers can also shop for tires from the comfort of their home by using the online tire finder. When it's time for mechanical repairs, Best One's ASE certified technicians can perform a wide range of services to get their customers back on the road. And those same technicians can do repairs on fleet vehicles as well. Taylor Athletics says thank you to Mike Pearson and everyone at Best One Tire and Auto Care Upland. Join the Trojan Club today and support Taylor student athletes 12 months a year. The Trojan Club has 4 different levels of membership for you to choose from. Each level receives complimentary season tickets, while the Athletic Director's Circle and Trojan MVP levels receive gifts from the Athletic Department. Over the years, members have helped supply the funds for a sports information position, purchasing equipment for teams and the athletic training staff, and providing broadcasts of Trojan athletics like the one you're enjoying right now. With the support of alumni and friends, the Taylor combination of spiritual growth, outstanding academics, and a highly competitive intercollegiate athletic program can continue. To join, call 765-998-5311 or log on to TaylorTrojans.com and click on the Trojan Club tab at the top of the homepage. The Trojan Club, supporting Taylor University student athletes.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
Second half about, excuse me, to get underway here from Turner Stadium. Trojans on top, 1-0 on the goal from Jackson Hoosier. First of the season, second of his career. The two teams have switched sides as Taylor now shoots on the goal to our left. Here in the final 45 minutes, Taylor comes in 5th place in the Crossroads League, just 2 points back of Indiana Wesleyan, the team that they fell to last week, and 2 points back of this very same Spring Arbor club, who are tied for 3rd in the Crossroads League standings. Taylor comes in sole possession of 5th, but just 1 point up on Mount Vernon, Goshen, Marion, and Grace, who are in a 4-way tie for 6th with 1 point. Matipa, extra space in the middle. Shot was blocked as it skittered its way through. Matipa waits as he tries to play it forward. It'll be juggled away by Dupree. Watterson into space, and Matipa, who gets the start of the second half. Bluffs to his left, explodes to the end line, crosses back off the heel of an SAU defender, and that man will beat Holwarda to the far side. It goes off of Holwarda as Ali was applying the pressure. There's a lot of delicious pizza being eaten down below us as the food trucks are packing up and they've gone back home. Partain, all by his lonesome, Holwarda, and it goes off the top of his head as he sends an apology to Partain's way on a beautiful high-arcing cross. And just missing as it went off the top of his head instead of the forehead was Holwarda, as nobody was around him inside the penalty area. And now here's Luke taken down from behind. Foul called. And a dangerous set-piece opportunity upcoming for the Trojans. It'll be right of center, right on the right hash marks of the football field. And this one's going to be, let's call it 33 yards away. Matipa, Watterson, Partain, Hoosier all standing around it. Watterson shoves Matipa in, dinks it into the far side, wanted to sneak it around to Hoosier, but a good read by SAU, and now the Cougars come pressing forward with Jack Voigt. He loses his footing, and a card looks to be coming out here against the Trojans as the clock will stop with 42:37 remaining in half number 2. They're talking to Jackson Hoosier across from us. It will be a yellow card against the goal scorer tonight. And a free kick for SAU. Up the field, quick flick into the 18, wide of everyone in sunflower yellow. And Spiegel will usher everyone away from him. And then quickly touch it down to Hoosier, who dribbles forward. Hoosier rockets one to the other end. Headed down by Caleb Sowers. Holwarda deflects it back to Vanderkolk, who's pushed down from behind, and it's a foul against Iyad Ali, who complains for the foul to our center official. His free kick for Partain he'll take with his left foot, right of center. A whisker short of 15 yards inside midfield. Taylor shoots on the goal to our left. Less than 5 minutes into the second half, leading by 1. Hoosier back to the middle, flicked on backside. Matipa shoots, and it's knocked away by the keeper. Matipa back in, trying to poke it forward is Vanderkolk, and standing tall again is Caneloopoulos. 2 huge saves for the backup keeper, who starts tonight in place of the starter Banfi. So Caneloopoulos almost. Now he's got to fight. Oh, look at Holwarda. Just an artist forward, and Caneloopoulos punches it away. Vanderkolk taken down. Play on called. Partain dances near side. He's got Setchner if he wants him. Partain will lose it out of play at near side as he took maybe one too many touches. Just a fantastic crowd here tonight, just filling up the bleachers down below us. There's not a seat to be had in any of the middle sections. A little bit of open spots on the periphery down on either end of the bleachers. But they got here early. They continued to file in. But there isn't a lot of room when you look down to the other end as well, on those very edges. James McBride. Help comes. He just turns that man away and just takes him down. Oh, look at the strength from James McBride. And now it's Matipa. A ball on to the racing Holwarda. Trying to save it on the far sideline, does. Holwarda bluffs the cross. Now sends it in left foot. Rocket! Oh my gosh! That is now 2 for Holwarda, where he's almost brought the people out of their seats. And this play would have come apart at the seams if Holwarda could have connected there. Yo! Near side corner for Watterson. Will take this with his right foot. Taylor shoots on the goal to our left, leading 1-0 almost 6 minutes into half two. A low one. Vanderkolk with a cheeky back heel flick. Holwarda backside dribbles. It's blocked on the backside post and sent away by Spring Arbor. I don't know what was more impressive. The back heel can kick from Vanderkolk, or Holwarda almost trying to knife it through traffic on the backside. Hoosier backs up with as much room as he can get on the short side of the field across from us. Heaves it in. Loose in the 18, sent skyward. Vanderkolk bluffs going after, finds it right to him, shoots it on. It finds the hands of Kanelopoulos. As Taylor head coach Gary Ross puts his hands on his head in shock as the Trojans have now come close 3 times to getting a second goal tonight as Yoder works the ball back in Taylor's favor. And speaking of the boss, Gary Ross, his 18th season here at TU. We say hello to the boss of the Ross family, his mom, Mrs. Ross, watching back in northern Michigan. Hello to Mrs. Ross and the whole Ross family. 3 of her grandkids here, all of Coach Ross's kids here. Of course, you know Noah. Remember that dominant Taylor men's golf team. Was up working on homework in Dad's office earlier today. I'm sure Grandma enjoys that Noah working on his studies on a Saturday afternoon. It was a beautiful day for golf, but it was Noah hitting the books on a Saturday before teeing him up with the boys coming up on Monday at the Egypt Valley tournament, Monday and Tuesday. Hoosier, the goal scored tonight, little soft play forward, and now the big fella is turned loose as he just runs up the middle of the field. Partain wants to get it back to him. Hoosier trying to use that size, was hoping it'd be misplayed by Toon, who bluffs away, but his fake allows Hoosier to come in. He steps right in and just takes him down with her left shoulder. Watterson fakes to his left and curls it off to the right in Alzate. Now up to Matipa. This one out of play, wanted Holwarda. That's the first off-target pass we've seen from Taylor here in the last few moments. Ali. To the near side and Toon. Partain makes him veer to the left, and he dishes off to Ali in the middle. Left of center pass for Spring Arbor. They have taken just one shot tonight. That came back in the early few moments of the contest this evening, and now the Trojans get the ball back in the defensive end. Quick passes to Partain, now Holwarda. Remember, Spring Arbor down a few men tonight, including their starting keeper, Banfi, and their top offensive man, Kaku. The transfer from Western Texas, out of London, England. Big fella at 6 feet tall. And SAU has really missed his presence out there, particularly offensively tonight, but Spring Arbor has played a ton of defense. That shot, the only one, it wasn't even on target. And it came in the first less than 5 minutes of play. Since then, it's been a lot of defense for Spring Arbor. Tony Gallegos enters for SAU here in half two. He replaces Josh Vanderstel. Taylor with the wind at their backs here in half two. And a 1-0 lead. Spiegel, big touch, and drives it away before pressure could get there. SAU down to the center circle, and Ali spins away from the pesky Sawyer Watterson, the former Spring Arbor Cougar. Good touch far sideline, but out of play it goes. They're going to call a foul. It's going to be a foul against Taylor, and against either Hoosier or Alsate on that far side, as they stepped in and got a little too physical there for the officials' liking. Free kick far side as Spring Arbor shoots on the goal to our right, trying to get their second shot of the night and level the match at 1. A good ball in. Spiegel reads and snags. That one right to him. No one could get there in time on one that had plenty of pace from the far side of the field. Trying to see who the number was. It's the outside back of Spring Arbor with 5 men on the back line tonight. That might be Mitchell Haynes, number 12, who took that free kick, and it looks like it was, because he tries to elude Matipa. Big pass up the far side to Voigt. Shoved away by Hoosier. And now Hoosier boxes him out. Across the end line it goes, and Taylor will throw it in with the big fella. Touchdown into space. Spring Arbor's got something cooking here with Voigt left edge of the 18. Back to cross does. Spiegel off the line and snags. Nobody home in yellow for the redirect. Quick throw out to Watterson. Up to Matipa. McBride. This is James. Still have not seen his brother Paul just yet. And now Vanderkolk. Partain as Paul McBride coming back from injury. Partain tries the lead hole. Warda poked out by SAU. Taylor from right to left here in half number 2. That has seen 12 minutes expire from it. Setron throws it in. Watterson trying to sell a call. It's kicked out of play by SAU. Throw in near side for the Trojans. Partain boxing his man out. Turns into the center. A shin guard comes out for somebody. Up near side. Voigt knocks it out. Taylor assistant coach Jude Johansson right on top of that one. Good call, Jude. Jude, a fine soccer player in his college days. Finished up at Indiana Wesleyan. Now is a mainstay here on the coaching staff of Taylor head coach Gary Ross. Has been a welcome addition, not just to the Taylor soccer program, but to the athletic department overall. He and his lovely wife, Sarah, I think, coming up on either their first or second year anniversary. All I know is they got married when it was cold, super duper cold. His wife had one of those very fancy furs around the shoulders. No fur for Jude, but he looked to be okay in his tux. Voigt to Swan. Turned over, now Hoosier will accelerate forward. A little touch from Holwarda, wanted to connect with Hoosier, who was on a run. But But SAU steps in front and they play it back. Ali forward. Hoosier. One touch from greatness. He'll have to lay it on back to Holwerda. As Hoosier way up in the attack, the center back here for TU. Yoder to the near side of McBride. Up to Hoosier. Cetron. The transfer from Biola. Holwerda feels his arm tugged and lays it off to Hoosier on the near sideline. Hoosier calmly plays it to Holwerda, too far in front of him. So Trojans couldn't jump on that one. Holwerda thought he had a little more room to work, but it was quickly taken away by Spring Arbor. James McBride gets physical. Then he gets fancy with the footwork and almost sends Voigt down to the turf. Vanderkolk back as a center back with Hoosier up in the attack for Taylor. And now it's Alsate far side. Matipa works through the challenge. Up to Watterson. Back to the accelerating Matipa. Bryan can really fly. His pass too much on it for Quinn Partain. Alsate trying to cut out. Oh, look at Alsate, but he's taken down and a foul against SAU and Mitchell Haynes. Seventh foul against the visitors. Taylor has outshot SAU tonight 13-2. As Pablo Gonzalez Cacho ready to enter the next opportunity for Taylor. Watterson, right side of the field, maneuvers in. Sends it to the near side, and Cetron as he backpedals and knocks it down with his left foot. Forward to Partain in the air, big first touch. Partain tried to play keep away, but it ricochets out of bounds. And before Taylor can throw it in near side, Yad Ali a little bit slow to get back here to get his footing underneath of him. As our lead official will stop and let Ali walk back into the play. This allows Gonzalez Cacho to enter. He will replace Partain, who gets his first breather of the night. So Hoosier will throw it in again with no Colin Maris for another match. Vanderkolk tries to work it to the middle, bounces down to Yoder. Open space right side, Alsate. John up to Holwerda. Dribbles to the middle, races, lets a missile go that's blocked back by SAU. A quick little couple steps, then Holwerda sent a bomb in that got cut off. Hoosier. Cetron. Gonzalez Cacho back to Cetron. Taylor tries to create near side. They shoot on the goal to our left. Cetron does a good job to save it from going out of play. Vanderkolk now down to Gonzalez Cacho. Touched and swept out by Tony Gallegos. Matt Harold will come in for the home side. Alsate thought it was going to be for him. But what they're going to do, it's Alsate will stay in, but it will be Harold who will take his spot at the right outside back position. So bump Alsate to the outside forward or winger position that Matipa just vacated. Less than 27 minutes remaining in the second half. Trojans out front 1-0, a big 3 points on the line. As they came in just 1 point back of the three-way tie for third, or the two-way tie for third that includes their opponent tonight, Spring Arbor. Cetron bluffs across, still gets it back, sweeps it in somehow, ping-pongs around to Vanderkolk, who lets the shot go that misses on the outside of the net. Vanderkolk heads off the goal kick. Out to the students across from us. And they give it back to SAU. Good play from Watterson. He's able to snake it away from SAU. Holwerda with the speed, and he'll be played just away from him for the time being. Headed down near side. Setrin races. Stops it. Up to Gonzalez Cacho. Pressure on his back as he dribbles back to the defensive end. Tried to turn Connaught and deals away to Setrin. James McBride up. Little touch Yoder off to Setrin for TU. The Trojans have been connecting passes beautifully tonight and dominating possession. And also dominating in shots, 15-2. Yoder. Space runs out, deals off to Setrin. Big ball to the middle, and Holwerda tries a knife in, tried to play it away, still loose, almost poked it away, did Holwerda, and just snatching it away from trouble is the keeper, Kanellopoulos. Gallegos knocks it down, but Watterson almost turned it over. Gonzalez Cacho up to Watterson, who accelerates, coming back and holding Sawyer's hand was the defender Ali. Alzate in the middle. Thought about a long-range shot. Here it goes. It's blocked and finds Watterson's chest on the near side. Yoder leaps and heads it down to Cacho. Wanted Watterson, bounced away from him. SAU tries to clear. Hoosier, though, has got other ideas. Dinks it down to Vanderkolk. Nice little through ball in. Knocked down Holwerda. Flag is in the air across from us. Offside, the call against Taylor. Third time Taylor has been offside tonight. One of the rare times that SAU's had the ball in the attacking half tonight. Just 2 shots for the Cougars, 1 in each half. Remember, 1 came early on in the proceeding tonight. Good challenge from Gonzalez Cacho. Ball stays in, and a good job by Pablo to kick his feet out as that ball got played between the wickets. SAU thought they're going to get a free redirect and a throw in. Instead, it's the Trojans to throw it in from their attacking side of the field. Trevor Taylor in for SAU. He replaces Gallegos. And Holwerda will come out. Bryce Lawrence, the 5'10 freshman from Columbus, Ohio, and Worthington Christian High School, in for TU. Gonzalez Cacho crosses end line. Alzate tried to lean his head in there, couldn't make contact. Yoder will punch it to the far side, and backpedaling will be Harold. Hoosier from the midfield stripe couldn't connect with Alzate. Taylor, though, tries to win the ball back immediately. Dangerous pass. SAU's got to hustle towards the end line inside the 18. They finally get to it, but Lawrence will come in as Yoder knocks it down, his high school teammate. Setrin back to Gonzalez Cacho from the left side, left-footed forward. Watterson back to Gonzalez Cacho, top of the box, Alzate, extra pass to the 18, and Watterson almost shimmied his way through defenders, but the touch went slicing through right to the keeper, Kanellopoulos. Vanderkolk gets physical. A bump there. Off the back heel goes SAU, and Gonzalez Cacho whistled for the foul for taking out the feet of Trevor Taylor of Spring Arbor. Spring Arbor moving forward, a back heel flick. Tried by Voigt, snuffed out. And now it's Jackson Hoosier, who has been all over the field tonight. And he carries it into the attacking half again from the defensive end. Hoosier with a head of steam just barrels through the defender across the end line. And Taylor will get a corner kick to boot. Hoosier ran end to end, ran through someone in yellow, And now the Trojans get the corner on the far side. Their 6th one tonight, make it their 7th. With less than 21 minutes remaining, and the Trojans looking for an insurance tally, ahead 1-0 off the aforementioned Hoosiers goal back in the 29th minute. Gonzalez Concha will take this one with his left foot. Partain getting a breather on the bench. Far side corner, Taylor shoots on the goal to our left. And a good play in by Gonzalez Cacho. And now something being uttered here between Trevor Taylor and our lead official. There's a great ball played in by Gonzalez Cacho. If he could duplicate that again, it would be fantastic. A little more air on this one. Knifing it in. The Trojans shoved down from behind. And then Vanderkolk gets up with a man right on his back. Clay unhappy about it. Thought that should have been a thought it should have been a foul, which would have resulted in a penalty kick. Instead, it's a goal kick for SAU. Goal kick sent back by Watterson. Look at Lawrence with the pressure. Near side, Gonzalez Cacho knocks it down. Left side of the box, shot to the backside. Was it touched by SAU? It might have, and it was. Kanelopoulos, the keeper, might have gotten a fingertip on it. It turned a little bit opposite way the way Gonzalez Cacho shot it. And it's going to be corner kick number 8 of the evening for the home side, with 19 minutes and change remaining here in the second half. Gonzalez Cacho sets it up far side corner. High in swinger. Almost headed in by Alzate backside. Yoder races and saves it for Taylor. Near side Cetron as SAU comes back to defend. Back into the box. Right there, Taylor. And Vanderkolk heads that one high. Vanderkolk in perfect position, but the ball, I think, got on him so quick he couldn't elevate into the air. Had to lean back, and when he did, that angle, launch angle, sent it high over the crossbar instead of down and into the net. How about 19 shots for Taylor tonight? Just 2 for Spring Arbor, who was undermanned tonight with some key men out of the lineup. But nonetheless, still an impressive performance out of this Trojan side and trying to get those much-needed 3 points. 2 points back of Iwu and this Spring Arbor team who are in the tie for 3rd when play began tonight. Mount Vernon Nazarene, Goshen, Marion, Grace, a point back of the Trojans in the 4-way tie for 6th. This is the halfway point, almost to the halfway point of league play. 5th match or 4th match for either side. Taylor trying to find their 2nd win to go along with their Huntington tie earlier. They defeated Mount Vernon Nazarene and they fell to Indiana Wesleyan last Saturday. Spring Arbor with a couple of wins, including a triumph over Grace. They sit at 5-5-1. But the Cougars have struggled on the road this year. This 1-2-1 this year, whereas Taylor is 4-1. Here at Turner Stadium, their only loss, a 4-0 setback to Missouri Baptist, which really kind of refocused the Trojans here a handful of Saturdays ago. Partain about to come back into the fun for Taylor. Spring Arbor with a throw in front of that Taylor bench down into our left. Gonzalez Cacho flicks it towards the middle. Trying to work it back are the Trojans. As Vanderkolk almost lost it, gets it back as he runs through the challenge of Andrews. Vanderkolk pirouettes with the ball spinning like a top on the artificial surface. Pressure again by TU on Pultz. Coming back as Lawrence. Dinking it away is the keeper, Kanelopoulos. Gonzalez Cacho working his way back, but SAU able to save it forward. Off the shoulder, Taylor looks for a handball twice. It doesn't come, but Yoder will circle to the near side and play it up to Gonzalez Cacho out of Spain. Into the 18. Alzate back post. Kanelopoulos right there, and then he and Alzate collide for good measure. Here comes SAU racing forward with Haynes, the outside back. Up to Voigt. Spins. That allows Harold to come back. Gets the ball back for TU, and Hoosier will look to clear. And does right there. Out of play off of SAU. Taylor throwing. Matipa, Partain in for Taylor. Lawrence will get a breather. Along with whom? Who's Matipa coming in for? Alsate, and it looks like John will take the long way around the field. Stands packed on this final event of Homecoming Saturday. We got folks standing on the concrete sidewalk around the field as well. Canelopoulos outside of the 18, so he can't play it with his hands. Dribbles it all the way forward and then sends it in with a right foot. Flicked back, good aerial by Harold. And then Yoder volleys it away with one high into the air. Deflected down to Gonzalez-Cacho of Taylor. Up to Partain, who gets back to his feet. Tried to sweep back to Gonzalez-Cacho. Throws that left foot there. Send it to the far side. Too far for anyone in white, as Haynes will wisely let it bounce out of play for the visitors out of Michigan. Ali spinning away from Gonzalez-Cacho. Hoosier with Vanderkolk getting pushed from behind. And then Vanderkolk takes Zook down to the turf. Taylor keeps possession near side with Cetrin. Towards the middle it goes. Yoder sidesteps a flyby defender. Gonzalez-Cacho trying to dance. And he'll deal it off to Cetrin. This pass out of play near side as he had Gonzalez-Cacho open for a moment. Alsante gives a wave to the Taylor fans down below us. Offside flag against Voigt. No, a foul against TU. Foul against McBride as Voigt slipped. And now here comes a good set piece chance for Spring Arbor. Near side of the field. Maybe 5 yards outside the near side of the box. 13 minutes and counting here in the second half. Swan taken near side. As they shoot on the goal to our right, this will come into the left of Spiegel. As he tries to move Matipa and Watterson. And now Swan will not be the one to take it and make it Mitchell Haynes coming from the far side to the near side. So they want Haynes to take it with his left foot. Could put it on goal if he wanted to. Goes backside post play. Hoosier heads it away. Trying to hold it into SAU. They send it in. Spiegel off his line. Leaps over everyone and soars down with it. He took Voigt with him, and now Voigt slow to get back up. But what athleticism from Sam Spiegel. Cetrin hits the brakes. That draws oohs and ahs from the Taylor fans down below us. And now Harold across midfield. One in Matipa. Through, out of play. Matipa will throw it in. Taylor head coach Gary Ross screaming for a sub as Holwarda waves his hands in the air. Now Holwarda will be granted entry. He replaces Gonzalez-Cacho. 1-0 Taylor lead with less than 12 to go here in the second half. A big 3 points on the line for both teams. As Dragan Chalfant Lupo, in. And Gallegos back in for SAU as well. Exiting will be Trevor Taylor along with Hallie Andrews. For SAU with a big brace on that right knee. Taylor still out shooting Spring Arbor 18-2. Taylor tries to go crossfield. They find Partain. Able to try to get there, then comes back near side to Cetrin. Two defenders there along with Partain. Cetrin trying to get cheeky, couldn't play it cleanly. Yoder finds it, but he can't play it down off of his foot. Out it goes, and SAU to throw in. Good challenge, Vanderkolk. Spring Arbor bashes it towards the far side. Voigt backpedaled too much. Harold comes in and wins. Watterson forward. Now Holwerda. Taylor races to the other end. Has Holwerda fakes to his right and comes to his left. He's been really creative here in the second half. Now Partain near side. 10-20 and counting second half. Taylor leading 1-0. Partain weaving his way through. Tries to draw the foul as he leapt forward. And the clearance try will go off of Holwerda. Out across the end line and a goal kick for SAU. Partain came in and kind of jumped forward a little bit, or a lot of it. And our lead official wouldn't bite. That would have been a big foul call inside the 18, would have granted Taylor a penalty kick. Playing it in his tune. Too much on that one. That rolls to the fans on the other end of the field. Now Spiegel sets up the goal kick. Spiegel forward. Holwerda got a little too physical as he shoved the man in front, Owen Swan. Holwerda stood in front of the ball like the Trojans are trained. Holwerda and the Trojans always told to stand in front of the free kicks. That forces the referee to essentially blow the play dead and mark off the 10 yards. And now it looks like the nosebleed from Nick Poltz is back again as he leans off to the right, trying to not get any blood from the nostril on that mustard yellow uniform. And Joel Walter comes back out, and he'll try to patch up Poltz's nostril once again. Caleb Dupree looks to be the one to come in and replace Poltz, and he will. Clock has stopped with 9:05 left to go here in the second half. Taylor leading Spring Arbor 1-0. SAU has been one of the perennial powers of the Crossroads League over the almost last decade. They're going to move the free kick back about 5 yards. The field's so nice at SAU. It's a natural grass field, but it's actually been FIFA approved. The folks from FIFA flew over, graded the field, and it's been named a FIFA grade field up there at SAU. A beautiful facility for soccer. As Vanderkolk soars through the air and heads it away for Taylor for the time being. Cheeky little play by Haynes. Get a blow by on Matipa. With a pass off target for SAU, now Haynes will regroup. Up to Dupree, the newcomer off the bench. He and Matipa lock horns on the far side. Haynes sends it forward, cut down by the Trojans. Back to the far side it goes in SAU. Into space, left edge of the box, trying to cross. A little back heel flick from Hoosier. What can't this guy do tonight? Just threw that back heel out and flicks it away. Ball stays in, off of SAU's noggin, and Taylor will throw it in far sideline. John Alsante about to come in, as you can hear. His fellow Taylor students want him to turn around and give him a wave. But John's got to go in and play some soccer. No time to wave here. We'll see if Matt Harold gives the boys a wave down below us. 7:41 and ticking here in the second half. Taylor leading 1-0 over Spring Arbor. 5-5-1 are the Cougars. The Trojans 6-3-1. Holwarda loses his footing. Matipa tries to make it moving in Taylor's favor. Look at the room that Matipa able to operate in such tight quarters. Chalfant Lupo forward, out of play into the trees. And one of the Taylor students across from us kisses the ball. Like all Taylor students, whenever the ball flies in the stands, they want whoever picks it up to kiss it, and the young man on the far side obliged. Holwarda muscles his way in, but couldn't win the ball back for Taylor cleanly. The man he muscled was Ali. Holwarda makes him force an off-target pass. Now the keeper, Kanelopoulos, has got to race away from Holwarda. Overrun by two couple men, now played in deep. McBride called off. Spiegel scoops. Now Chalfant Lupo, was a couple steps too late to getting there. 18-2 the Taylor shots, including 9-1 in shots on goal. Hoosiers' goal in the 29th minute, his first of the year, second of his career. The difference right now with Taylor leading 1-0. Yoder tries to go between the defender's legs. He's taken down with a shot to the thigh. Yoder trying to get some encouragement from Quinn Partain. Levi, the freshman, pops up. We dip below 6 minutes left to go here in the second half. Free kick near side for Partain, the captain. Senior out of Wheaton, Illinois, and Wheaton Academy. They'll play it in from the near side. Quinn backs up. Waves Matipa back in. Left hand into the air, left foot into the ball. Towards the middle of the box, Trojans race in, punched away by Kanelopoulos, the SAU keeper. McBride heads one shortly down to Alsate. He's got to turn and retreat back to Spiegel, who sends a rocketed one forward. Matipa back on side by a step. SAU trying to clear, they do. This one goes circling back to the other end. Spiegel's got to get back online. To the middle 18, dangerously cleared, and Vanderkolk clears it to the near side as the Trojan faithful let out an exhale. 4:50 and counting here in the second half. A throw-in near sideline, quickly in by SAU. One of the rare times they've been in the attacking end tonight. Ball sent in. Cetrin tries to clear it away, does. This one 10 yards inside midfield. Back to the fray it goes into the 18. Spiegel tracks, leaps, catches, and Spiegel showing off the bunnies tonight. Drop kick Spiegel. Back to the middle. Holwarda got a touch on it, tries to come back and win it. Into space, though. Cetrin will backheel roll it off to Holwarda. Near midfield, touched forward. Now SAU tries to create with Lupo. Cetrin a step away from getting there. Spring Arbor to throw it in here near sideline with Toon. Yoder steps in front. Toon heads it back towards the middle. Vanderkolk steps. This one goes right off the face of an SAU player, and the Cougars press forward, right in, and scooped up by Spiegel. Taking that one in the teeth was Ethan Zook, and he looks to be okay. That one hit him square in the face. And I think for safety precautions, Zook might have to exit. They asked Zook, and he seems to be okay. No blood, no nothing. Maybe stretching out the neck a little bit. But good to see Zook okay. Freshman from Jackson, Michigan. As Spiegel will have the goal kick with 3:19 separating Taylor from their second Crossroads League win of 2021. Watterson, the former SAU Cougar, tries to turn the Jets, plays it in, try to move it to the middle, could not, blocks the clearance drive from SAU. The Cougars are able to regroup, and they work it up near side to Ali. Ali overruns it, and Watterson goes to Partain. Step into space, flicking towards the box. In the air, Watterson, and now Partain will knock it down for Taylor. Circles, tries to accelerate, tries to find an edge. Can't. Fought for on the end line. Ball pops free. Partain back on top for Taylor with pressure from behind. Partain knocks it down, plays it to the middle, and Cetron will hold it in for TU. Dumps it down near sideline. Partain crosses left foot. Holwerda backside run. Kanelopoulos leaps into the air and sweeps that one away. Matipa might have gotten his foot on this one as now Alsate turns back towards the penalty area for Taylor. Watterson and Alsate try to keep it in. The ball free in the middle of the field. But the whistle blows, and it ends play as Partain was ready to knife one forward up to Luke Holwerda. 2:10 with the wind in the face of Spring Arbor here in the second half. Cetron maneuvers in. Big bounce. Partain flicks it forward. Holwerda has got one man to beat. He's shoved down here, and this is going to be a card. Caleb Sowers did the only thing he could. Two hands shoved on Holwerda. He had the space, and if Holwerda turns the corner, he's home free for a 1v1 against Kanelopoulos. So the yellow card here against Sowers. First yellow against a member of the SAU club tonight. And it stops the clock with 1:54 left to go in regulation time. Taylor leading 1-0. Taylor head coach Gary Ross, I think, trying to argue his case that it could have been a penalty kick with no one in between Holwerda. It looks like he just didn't clear the defender in Sowers enough. Partain up to Vanderkolk. Quick touch back to Partain, who's got a head start. Tight quarters, Holwerda. Pirouettes away and somehow comes free. Couldn't elude the third man. But wonderful work by Luke Holwerda. 1:40 in the second half. Cetron calmly walks. Now they'll stop the clock as now Cetron. Nope, clock stops with 93 seconds left. As Taylor just trying to take as much time off the clock as possible. Holwerda calls for the throw-in, gets. Could not keep it moving to the middle from the left side. Bounces away from Yoder. Hoosier right foots one back into the 18. Holwerda tries to track. Tries to run through Sawyers. He leaps and over the top of Holwerda's head was the keeper, Kanelopoulos. 72 seconds left. And Spring Arbor's trying to get one last push here. Partain collides, runs into the SAU player. Holwerda will hold in the middle, flicks with a minute left to go. Matipa inside position, trying to sweep away from Haynes. He falls down, and the flag in the air and a foul against Brian Matipa. 46 seconds and counting. Time is of the essence here for SAU. Down by one, just two shots for the visitors all night. They're going to have to bring the ball all the way back to the other end. This is going to waste at least 5, 6, or 7 seconds away from SAU. Kanelopoulos drives it forward with 30 seconds left. Bow bounces off the turf. Vanderkolk shoved from behind. Hoosier turns. He sends this one towards the seats at Winterholder Field. Out into the bushes with 15 seconds and counting. A throw in near the final third for SAU, far sideline. They've got to go quick. They're wasting way too much time. As the 10-second countdown clock is on. Blocked, crossed by Matipa. This one in. One last try, knocked down, and that will do it. A late surge from Spring Arbor as Kanelopoulos kicks this ball to the parking lot behind us. And that will do it for our match tonight. Great late push there from Spring Arbor, but the Trojan defense stands tall, and the Trojans come away with their second Crossroads League win They will now move into 4th place at worst in the Crossroads League standings tonight. Depending on what happens with the Indiana Wesleyan match, the Trojans might find themselves all the way up in 3rd. They came into the night 2 points back of the Spring Arbor Club and Indiana Wesleyan, and 1 point clear of Mount Vernon Nazarene, Goshen, Marion, and Grace. But a big victory for the home side tonight as Sawyer Watterson handshakes and hugs for his former mates at Spring Arbor, transferred in from SAU 2 years ago. Your man of the match, Jackson Hoosier. Second goal of Jackson's career, an absolute missile from 28 yards out in the 29th minute was the difference tonight as Taylor comes away with a 1-0 victory over Spring Arbor here to cap off our Saturday homecoming festivities. Special thanks to our fantastic camera operator, Josh Fenwick, and the executive producer of the Trojan Sports Network. You know him, you love him, is, as always, Cameron Andre. Taylor outshoots Spring Arbor tonight 18-2, 9-1 in shots on goal. And with the win, Taylor moves to 5-1 on the year, 7-3-1 in overall record, 2-1-1 in Crossroads League play as the Trojans come to celebrate with this massive crowd here tonight, here at Turner Stadium. The crowd was electric the whole night, and the Trojans come to pay their thanks. Final tonight here from Turner Stadium, the Trojans defeat Spring Arbor by a final of 1-0 as they'll go and celebrate with the students on the far side of the field now. Taylor 7-3-1, 5-1 at home, and most importantly 2-1-1 in Crossroads League play, now with 7 points to their name this season. Until we talk to you again with the Trojans back in action Wednesday when they take on Bethel. We'll talk to you next time here from Turner Stadium for more soccer action here on the Trojan Sports Network. This has been a presentation of Taylor Men's Soccer on the Trojan Sports Network. Have a great rest of your weekend as we say goodnight from Upland, Indiana.